We are in the Audioholics Smart House, boots on the ground. We're in the theater room. We got Scott Michaels, or Michael Scott, I like to call him, the Vice President of Sales of RBH Sound. We got Shane Rich, the Technical Director of RBH Sound. They came down, they flew down to Florida to help us set up the system, and that's what we're going to be talking about in today's video. Hey folks, I'm Gene Delasala with Audioholics. Check it out, we're finally here. How you guys doing? Shane, Scott?
Fantastic.
Doing awesome.
Awesome. So we spent the last week really getting the system set up. As you know, the RBH SVTRS modular system, fully active. We had this at my old house. We listened to it there for about 6 months or a year, somewhere around there. Packed the whole thing up, brought it to this new room, a completely different room. And it was a challenge, but we managed. We pulled some miracles in the last couple of days. You want to talk about what we did in this room and how we got this system calibrated to perfection at all 7 seats in our theater?
Wow. Well, that's a lot to talk about. But I'll start with the fact that we spent, about 18, 20 hours a day in this room for the last 3 days.
Scott loved the air conditioning here, too.
No.
Yeah, it's been a little warm. But no, it's been a great experience setting up speakers here. And I'm really impressed with the acoustic environment, everything that's happening in the room, the treatment, just the natural acoustics of the room, I think, are better than your last home.
Well, we had Anthony Grimani. He sent us the Sonitus panels. He helped me design the acoustics in this room. We're going to be doing more videos on that topic, but we got this pretty well balanced now for this speaker system to really flourish.
Yeah, so the process was the same as your last house, where we had measurements of the speakers individually, setting up the FIR filters on the loudspeaker, integrating them together at the listening position. The thing that's different about this system specifically than your last system as far as speaker content is the behind the screen center channel version of this 831 mid tweeter.
Yeah, so basically we have a 150-inch Screen Innovation screen, and we have the equivalent of this speaker behind the screen in an acoustically transparent screen. Now, we had some challenges with that acoustically transparent screen. This is another video topic I'll be doing in the future, but they're basically not lossless.
Yeah.
You do lose some high frequency content, and it does cause some cone filtering that we had to fix with the Marani DSP, the FIR filters, right?
Yes, yep. But it after it was all said and done, it measured almost identical to what we're getting with the freestanding speakers out in the room. So, yeah, it was great.
So the advantage here is to have the center channel at the same listening plane as the main speaker, so when you transition from left, center, right, it's seamless. This is the first time I've had it in a theater system environment in my own possession, and I can tell you, when you're watching like the Unbroken demo or Mad Max or any of those Dolby Atmos demos and you hear the panning, it's just unbelievable. It's like being in a really upscale, kind of like an IMAX experience because of the sheer output of the system. So Scott, what if someone doesn't want to have this big box system in their house? They don't want to see it. Can you do an equivalent in-wall version of this system with subs and everything else, so you don't have to see anything? You can hide everything behind the screen, or fabric wrapped or whatever.
Absolutely. That's probably 80% of our sales right now is this full behemoth of a system that you see here in wall. We've got several different variations of that, in wall and on wall, and subwoofers that go underneath the screen. We lay them on their sides. Some very high end that we do now, and some new ones that are coming out.
Awesome. So we also introduced a new product, as far as I know. You sent me the very first, is it the SV1212P?
Yes, SV1212 PR with a bigger amplifier, new amplifier.
How many watts are we talking about?
2,400 watts.
Wow.
For the amplifier. It has a DSP, so we have the same kind of filter control feature set that we have in this system. Doesn't have the FIR filter. That's not really
You don't need
needed
that
for
at
low
base.
frequencies, but it does have 30 bands of parametric EQ.
And does it have all pass
It
filters
does.
too?
Yes, it has all pass filters.
Wow, so that's something I'm going to be doing another video on the benefits of all pass filters. This is kind of new. We're bleeding edge here between the Storm Audio surround sound processor, the 24-channel processor. We have fully digital connections from the Storm into the Marani DSP that EQs these speakers. So there's no analog to digital conversion and back to, it's not doing that extra conversion process. The bottom line is by having this digital connection going to these speakers is the noise floor drop dramatically. There's no hiss at all. It's just a lot easier to do the correction when you're not messing with another chain of losses. So this subwoofer now that you're talking about has the DSP horsepower to basically get rid of bumps in your bass response.
Yeah.
So do you do this, do you plug the computer into it, or is it through a network, through Ethernet network?
There's a RS-485 connection on the back, so we include an adapter with the subwoofer, so you just go out of your USB into that connection into the subwoofer, and it's pretty advanced software interface that allows you to set the crossover points, filters, and then you can program that into the slots, the memory slots in the amplifier DSP itself.
So in this room, even though these speakers are sheerly massive and they have tons of more output than I would ever use without blowing my ears out, you're still dealing with standing waves and small room acoustics. So as good as we got the system on its own, the seat-to-seat consistency bass-wise wasn't perfect. So by adding that extra sub, I found the best location on the riser platform behind the left seat. Made a world of difference in smoothing out the bass response. This sub has equal output or more than one of these modules. Just so you guys know, one of these modules alone, the Dual 12, we measured it. It got our extreme bassaholic room size rating and actually shattered that rating. This has the equivalent output of the highest excursion single 18 subs on the market. And the cool thing about it is the footprint is pretty small. I was able to tuck this thing behind my chairs. I could still recline my chairs. I still had enough space there. It wasn't a huge eyesore because it's tall. It's not a just giant refrigerator-sized box. And smoothing the bass out was a game changer. So now every seat sounds great. The cool thing too is I had Matthew Pose design a bass trap on my riser platform that's tuned at around 31 hertz. So when the bass hits, Scott was glued to that back seat because he just liked that tactile motion, right?
Yeah, it was awesome. Good back massage.
Yeah, we didn't have massages built into the Valencia seats, but now we have it with the RBH subwoofer. It sounds great and it feels great. And I was really going for that because I knew moving into this house, because I have concrete floors. My other theater room was on a second floor where we had 2x8 rafters and they would shake the rafters. I can't do that on concrete, but now I can recreate that experience on the riser platform using this subwoofer with the 2400 watt amp, tuned so it's flat at all seats, and it's a beautiful thing. I would give you guys a demo through my microphone, but I don't think this thing will pick up all the bass.
Yeah.
True.
So is this subwoofer, is it shipping now? What's the price on it? What are the color options? Is it just available in any color you want as long as it's black?
Yeah, exactly right.
All right.
Now, we do have essentially the same version of this in a matte finish, a slightly different cabinet profile that we're releasing. So if it's just going to be integrated into a system behind a screen or tucked away, no need for the fancy finish. But so we have several different options. It should be available, Scott, within the next
Probably 3-4
month or
weeks.
two.
Yeah.
So just so you guys know, you don't see any ports in this system, but this is a tuned system. It has 6-inch diameter ports
6-inch diameter.
on the
clear
bottom
ports.
of the subwoofer and on the top of this sub. And if you look at the total system port size, the volume is 50 liters just for these main speakers.
Yeah.
So we got tons of bass output, clean, prodigious output that it's hard to get this kind of bass out of something that's not this big. And this is why we went big. Either you go big or go home when you're an Audioholics showcase theater room. And that's what we got here. We have the system really nice, nicely balanced. It's a 9.2 or 9.3.6. So we've got full coverage for all seats. what was your experience? You've listened to this system in my other theater room. What was your experience in comparison to having the speaker layout here with the Storm ISP and just the different room acoustics that we have here? Do you feel like it's a different immersive experience, better?
Oh, yeah, I definitely think it's better. Nice having the higher ceiling. That helps with the woofers on top, being able to breathe a little bit better. Just filling the room more evenly. I think you have fewer standing wave issues overall in this room. And yeah, it's just an ideal acoustic environment. It really is. The only thing I'm really worried about is that you have two doors that seal and one window that I expect to be launched out of your home at some point. Given the levels of bass you can get in here.
Yeah, we were hitting like 115, 120 dB clean in here with the bass frequencies, not like blasting everything else out. But it's not about an SPL war, it's about clean output. And when you listen to this system, you listen to jazz music. I'm a big Pat Metheny fan, for example, and you just sit in that Valencia seat and you just you fall asleep.
Comfortable seats, thank you.
I feel like I'm at a jazz bar. Just it recreates the venue that we're in, and I'm really this is a great ride. So you're going to be hearing a lot more about this room. I really appreciate you guys flying down here because I couldn't set this thing up myself, even just moving it. I mean, I think the speaker weighs about 310 pounds, and we're going to mass load the center channel or the center module, and we're going to stick sand in that next time to just get it even more rigid. And it'll weigh 400 pounds then, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they got the new outrigger system, so it's very stable. It looks great. I'm impressed, guys. Hopefully this is my final speaker for life. It'll last as long as I last. I don't want to move these things out of here.
I don't want to come back and help you move them.
Yeah, exactly. Well, at least we're on the first floor now. So anyways, guys, that's about it. I have a written review I'm going to be releasing soon on this system, and I'm actually going to probably update it with some of the room measurements that we pulled here. And so take a look at that review coming on audioholics.com. Don't forget about our Patreon channel at patreon.com/audioholics. It helps support this channel. You get direct access to us if you want to suggest video topics or you need help consulting or anything like that. And please hit the subscribe button. Don't forget about sharing this video. Thumb it up. Spread the word to your friends. And until next time, my friends, keep listening.
No, it wasn't.
Oh, good.
Darn it. Scott, you enjoying the heat in this room? You enjoying the Florida heat?
Well,
No,
make sure to let
absolutely not.
everybody's sweat so you look pretty.
We are in the audio hall.
Oh, what's that?
He's tossing baseballs
It
here.
was my phone.
Funny.
Okay, you ready? Are we recording?
Yes.
All right, let me think about what we're going to do. What are we talking about? What we did in this room? Okay. Are you ready?